Now, Monday, you finished program number 6. So everybody totally figured that one out. Good. If you didn't, wham. Figure it out.
Wow.
I'm not grading it yet. I know a couple of you submitted a couple times. That's fine. I'll grade the last one. You know what? What we need to do now? We need to take the test.
How about no? When that listen, no.
Oh, check it out.
How
Your
about
test
no?
is ready for Monday.
No.
It's ready.
Are we
Are you
taking it
trying
in
to
class?
kill us?
It's ready. You're taking it in class.
What's it gonna be about?
class?
Just Python.
Python, what?
Are we doing a
Just
program
easy
or
stuff.
Don't.
You
I
know
didn't
what?
hit
You
that
thought
review
this
button.
last assignment was easy, okay?
And
I
that
don't
was
know
not
what
easy.
was it, anything you
For
have to
those
say?
of you who showed up Monday,
And went through it a
was
lot
anything difficult?
I was here
Yes,
Monday. Why
yes.
did you say
There were
that?
several parts that were hard.
No,
Yes.
it's not.
You made it a lot easier.
This is
for
your
us.
job. That's why you say that. Stop.
exactly?
You did everything.
You gotta
Except for the
But it was
understand.
so easy.
Stop saying that.
I literally had everything that he put up there. I just needed
Some of
everything
you
past
did.
that
Some of
point.
you already had it. I mean, you know, we get back to the whole jack up your car thing. You know, you already have it. You knew how to use the jack to rotate the tire. You just didn't know how to use it to change the oil. Did I tell you all that one?
Yes. Okay. Your analogy is pretty
I mean,
good.
I still can't believe that. It's like, those of you who were not here, my daughter threw a fit Friday because I needed to change the oil. I don't do it anymore. I want them to know how to do it. She could not jack up the car. Because I've never done this. I'm like, yes, you have. No, I haven't. I said, you've jacked up the car for it. Well, not to change the oil. I've only jacked up the car to rotate the tires. Why would it matter? You've jacked up a car. So if you've taken a list and appended something to a list, even if it was only watching it in the slides, it's the same thing. You're just using a different, whatever. But
Application.
today we're going to talk about your test. Aren't you excited?
So it's just going to be one question.
I already put it up here. I was nice enough to make you a review
Thank you.
10 minutes ago. And we're going to talk about it.
70 minutes for the exam.
Y'all can see it now. Yeah, 70 minutes. The exam was worth 76 points. First question's a gimme that's worth 7 points. So there's 10% of your test just by clicking yes. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. Okay, there's approximately 55 questions. It's a pain in the butt in Canvas to see how many questions there are, but it's about 55. These are the topics that are on the test. Okay, I went through every question and wrote down the topic. Okay, so we have some basic math. If I said, what is 2 plus 2? Could you figure that out? 3. There you go. That's close enough. But can you read an expression and tell me the results?
Yes.
Okay, that's it.
2 equals 2.
There's actually 3 questions on that, using things like multiplication and division and exponents. Okay. Now you can use your computer. You can use your compiler in your book. You cannot use the internet. You can't use your neighbor. So you can use Python. You can literally sit here. There's a lot of parts on here. No internet. No internet.
Well, that's not right.
But there's a lot of stuff on here. What does this code do? So if you're not sure, what could you possibly do?
Copy paste into idle.
Put it into idle and run it and see what it does. I mean, it's not that difficult. But you are limited. 70 minutes for 55 questions. So if you spend 5 minutes on one question, you're not going to finish. Okay? So we have 3 questions on basic math. Then I give you some math and you have to convert to Python. It's not hard. Okay. Data types. You all know what an integer is and a float is and a string is and all that? Question about that.
So when you say it's a question, is it going to be like a true and false, or we have to show it in
There
a program?
are multiple choice. There's true, false. There's fill in the blanks. There's write a line of code.
That's what I needed. Is there mixed match?
They vary. Okay. Well, that's it. Write a line of code that uses an integer. Okay. Then write code to convert some data. How can we possibly convert data? So if I have a flow, what can I do? Cast it. How do I cast it into an int? What int? I mean, if you have a float, so if I said int parentheses 5.2 parentheses, what do I end up with? 5. Okay?
You just got converted.
Just got, now it's open book. It's open Python. I mean,
So I have to bring my book. In other words, I'm gonna make it.
okay.
We have a phone.
Write code to convert data. Again, if you had to convert from a float to an int, or maybe a string to an int or an int to a string, you could do all that.
I do that so many times.
Yes.
But
I tell you, data conversion happens I mean, especially if you're working on code where you read something off the internet, it always comes in as a string. You're always having to convert it. So, all right, write code. What is the output of code? There's a bunch of code on here, and what's the results of the code?
Yeah.
In other words, I give you the code, you tell me what the results is, okay?
I need to do those before.
What's the results of the code? What would print after an if-else statement? So I said, x is equal to 2. If x is equal to 2, print yes, else print no. Stuff like that, okay? So that's exactly what that question is. Okay, string manipulation. How do we concatenate a string together?
Plus.
With a plus sign. Could you chop off the first character? Or chop off the last character? Or duplicate a string? All that stuff we've done. They're all on here.
Or just print.
Actually, I don't think
half.
duplicate is.
Just print the
Can you
last
not
half
do
of the
the-
string.
You do that. You know, like colon 1, 1 colon, or string minus 1 will give you the last character, stuff like that. No, all of those. Those will be on there. Go to the slides. Find the little section there that has, you know, the little chart of how to manipulate strings, and you'll be good. Okay. What will print? Can I give you some code that's a string using if-else? You tell me what the output is.
So we would
And
just,
you will not have time to take all this code and dump it in the Python. You won't have time.
that's what I was about to ask. Do we just put it into Python and check that?
But you should be able to tell most of it does.
Okay.
Hopefully you can just read it and see it. But there's a couple of them. I mean, you got 55 questions for 60 to 70 minutes. You got, you know, a minute and a quarter each. Okay, string, first character, last character, stuff like that. We did all that. I mean, you did an assignment on it. Yes,
If we get here early to class, like we get here, you know, within 5 minutes of passing theory.
still
can we-
time.
Okay, so no.
Yeah, if you start early, it's still time, and you got to be done at 1:45. So 70 minutes. Once you start it, you got 70 minutes. Okay. String uppercase and lowercase. Y'all can handle that. I mean, you did that. You literally did that in an assignment. Okay. Write code to do something. So if X blah 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 starts with whatever. So that was, do you know how to read code using strings? And a lot of the questions, I mean, if you think about it, this code that's down here actually has something manipulating the strings, so probably you can use this to answer a prior question. Okay. String length. Y'all know how to use length. Okay.
String length.
Oh, strength. That's a very strong length. Loops. Y'all know how to use loops? Lots of questions about for loops. I love for loops. Oh, by the way, I did not make this test.
Yeah, right.
I didn't really. I believe in object reuse. In other words, still Jeff Thompson's test. So, which was already made. But I did go through it, and I deleted a couple things that weren't quite right. Decision structures. What the heck is a decision structure?
How you know if it's going well.
Give me an example. If else.
Yeah.
Exactly. If else. If something, do something, else do something else. You make a decision. Okay. So, couple questions about decisions, structures, if statements, stuff like that. How to exit a loop. Break. Or will this loop ever exit? That kind of stuff. I give you a loop. You know, how many times is this thing gonna run? Questions like that. You know how to make comments in Python?
Yeah.
Good. There's two questions
I
about
type
that.
comment.
An assignment operator. There's no difference between an assignment operator than a relational operator. There you go. Equals or double equals. Exactly. Single equals is an assignment operator. Double equals is a relation or a comparison. Very good.
Okay.
Convert, int, float, string, stuff like that. We did all that multiple times. Matching with math expression. There's two questions on this. I give you a math expression. You got to, okay, the answer is a 5. Then you got to go over and read the expressions and figure out what expression evaluates to a 5.
Okay.
So I'll be
Let's
like
say-
a 5, a 2, a 9, and you got to figure out, you know, they're matching.
Oh, the matching part.
Yeah.
Same, same, same.
The veil of X, or in other words, the value of X. Okay, it's basically math. File naming. Hopefully you know how to name a file in Python. Might we want to put to the end of a file?
.py.
Wow.
Automatically does that for you.
That too. Trust me, someone's going to put TXT or DOC or PDF or something. Trust me, they will.
So it's literally just
I will
asking what
say
is the file name of
Best
Python?
features I
Yeah.
save in Idle is save, copy, ads. So you can just make backup.
Yes. I tell you, when you start making long programs, man, making backups of stuff is a lifesaver. Okay.
Python comparison statements.
Comparison statements. So we know how to do equals and stuff like that. Less than, greater than,
So that would be the double equals sign, correct?
Yes.
And then
Math functions, absolute value, that kind of stuff. Maybe
Min-max.
min-max, just something to do with math. Integer division, exponents, modulus.
that's
that
the
sounds
one
right.
I probably have the biggest problem
Yeah,
with.
I still have
Modulus
problems with
is-
modulus.
Did anyone get modulus to work on the last program?
No, I had to use an if else
A
statement.
couple of you, so it printed 13. You literally just said if whatever mod 13 is equal to 0.
I did range.
I did double equals
I mean, you
zero.
can do it many ways, but
It just wouldn't print out correctly, so I had to do it a different way.
that's fine. That's the cool thing about programming. Don't work one way, do it another way. Yeah, just do another way. All right, write code. Now this one you have to write like 3 lines of code or a couple. That is an if else statement. I give you something, you got to write the if else. Then read an if else script. What's correct about it or what's not correct? Because I give you some examples and there's some errors in it. You got to tell me what's right and wrong. Function declarations. How do I define a function? DEF. The name. Maybe it's parentheses and colon.
There's no hex or binary conversions, are there?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
That's next.
Reading pseudocode, what does it do? Times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those questions. It's basically pseudocode.
Reading pseudocode is just. Oh, so you're having to say what the pseudocode.
Right, I give you the pseudocode,
I understand.
and you tell me what this does.
Oh,
I was like, but that's just pre-writing the code. I don't
That's
understand.
What is printed has to do something with strings. So as I got something using a string, you know, manipulating the string somehow, and what's the output? First comes first, type it in. Okay. So if I said, you know, a string name -1, what would that do?
You'll not do the last character.
That's characters. I mean, a colon 1 colon, just know all those different ones. There's a little chart on one of the slides that will know everything for you.
What is printed?
Write decision structures. You got to write some sort of if then else statements. I give you some code that's an error. You got to fix it. Again, write code with a math function in it. What's printed? It's got a loop on it. Loop, and you know, and it does something so many times. And what's the output? It prints A 19 times or something like that. Okay? Using ranges and stuff like that. So if I had a for loop and I said 6, 9, I'm printing out the values, what would I end up with? So it's a for loop in a range of 6, 9.
There's a
And in the range statement of 6, 9.
6 to 8.
It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Because remember, it doesn't do the 9. Remember, range is start and the one after. I don't know why that's the way they did it, but that's what they did. Okay. So another one doing the same thing. And I got some code with an error in it. I got a bunch of fixes for it. Which one's the correct fix? Okay, what will script print? Having to do with loop again. Another question, same thing. I got a math code with the results. You got to pick what's the right result. And then you got to write a loop using range. Write a function definition.
So that's actually creating a function.
Write the function header, that one line. So real basic stuff.
I like to find my way.
But you can do that 3 times.
Just the header. Copy.
You don't have to write the whole thing. I mean, you got 55 or 70 minutes. You're not going to write a lot of code here. Write code to call a function? How do you call, okay, if I have a function, here, let me make a function. If I had define main, okay, how would I call that? Main. Wow, that's hard. I just answered 2 questions for you.
Oh,
Okay, I mean, I know the cheap seats can't see it, but it's too bad I'm not making it bigger. Okay, so write code to call a function. What's wrong with the code? And I got a couple of questions on that. Yes.
So I didn't get a book. Do you have an extra by any chance?
Yeah.
Is it open book?
Open book.
Please the slide.
Can I?
You can use the slides.
We use our old scripts.
I will allow you to use your old scripts. Anything at idle. I don't think I have them. Because I had 2 old versions I gave out already.
Yeah,
So I can use my old scripts,
Oh yeah,
and we're taking it on these computers or
on those computers right there.
I can't take it on my laptop.
Well, if you want to use a laptop, fine.
well,
Just no Google.
Okay.
If you want to save all your scripts somewhere, put them on a flash drive, use them all, you are set.
Great.
If we use the slides, do we have to download them first, or can we go on to it?
You can go onto the Canvas and
Use
get
all
them.
those
But once you open
slides.
the quiz, I don't think you can leave the quiz. I would download them all.
So we need to print out the slides beforehand, because we can't.
Don't
access
print them out. Just have them saved on your computer or
Okay,
something.
okay.
Because we're about done here with the review. Go get the slides now. It's really only chapters 1 through 5. Save them all on the desktop. Then you're set.
Okay, let's-
Yeah, I don't have another book, I don't think. Well, we can look when I get downstairs, but I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't know. I sell them or give them a loan or who knows what happens to them. I don't really like it.
But the restriction is just, no, you just can't go to Google and ask for
Right.
the answer.
I do not want you on Google, type the code in, and what's the answer.
Yeah.
Other than that, you are fine.
Okay, great.
All right, any other questions about this? I recommend highly find the slides about strings. Okay? I mean, download that. Find the ones about the for loop. Download that. Find the ones with the math functions. Those 3 are really going to be the majority of the test. Math functions, string functions, loop functions.
So the for loops are just the very basic for in, it's not in no like enumerate or in X range or
Nope.
any of the.
No, it's all range type stuff.
Okay, so very basic.
Yeah, very basic.
Okay.
I give you a for loop with a range of 6, 8. How many times does this execute?
Gotcha.
Real basic stuff. Okay. Everybody happy? No, you're not happy. We are doing this Monday during class. And then Wednesday, we're going to start with the next chapter. I was going to start with the next chapter today. I'm like, whoa, it's midterm time. I know. But see, if you wait to the end, then you'd be like, then you got 2 tests in the same week. That would be. All right.
Bingo.
So is everybody but his summer happy now?
I'm not happy, but I'm content with how.
All right, you're all out of here. If you don't, I mean, you want to download the sites, do it now. That way, Monday, you're ready.
I'm literally downloading all the slides right now.
Perfect. All right.
I did not turn on.